Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian pairs, starting with the US dollar index here. As you may know, we've got wave 4 in place and we're looking for this move to the upside. So in line with that, we have the pound Aussie and the euro Aussie in that vein as well in terms of moving up. So on the daily chart here, we're looking at this is an A and a B and a C here, and then up for 1 here, back for 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so this particular move up through here, the pound Aussie and the euro Aussie are moving together in this, in line with the US dollar index, and of course the Aussie US is doing the mirror opposite basically. So pretty easy to track, and in both cases, well, in all cases, we're pretty much looking for this guy here for the next buying opportunities. So with this moving to the upside here, we can break that down here. And as I mentioned, it would be the same as the Australian US dollar moving to the downside, but a mirror opposite. So here we're looking at, from wave 4 here, we're looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and wave 5 here. So from wave 4, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So we still have a little 5-wave sequence to move up through to here before we see something of this nature here, and this is the opportunity that we're looking for here. So if you've been trading long, then you really need to start thinking about 2.05 here in this market to cash in on the 2-hour chart here, just to fill that space in a little bit and redraw that. It's a bit like this here, so looking for one more little push up into here. So we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I don't need to go into the 15-minute chart to get any more detail on that, but we're looking for a fold back here, and also too for the euro Aussie as well here, just cutting into the 4-hour chart here, much the same thing. So we're looking for this for wave 1 and 2 here. And as I mentioned before, this got a little bit sort of messy towards the top here, but you know, one thing that we could see is that that the market was really churning, you know, and we can see that in the price action here. So it's basically creeping to the upside. So a lot of sort of well, a change in trend, and short-term trend anyway, with all that churning going on. So, you know, tops of markets and bottoms of markets can end on high volume, or they can end on no volume. So both of those are both valid, and even though we can't see the volume in the Forex market here unless you're trading futures contracts, or there are volume indicators for the Forex which are based on how many times the price moves in a particular time frame, and that actually works quite well in terms of reading volume as well. So don't disregard it, but it's not the real deal, but it's actually good enough in a lot of cases. But we can just see what's occurring in the price action. So the best fit for this scenario here at the moment is move this lonely A wave over here, B wave and a C wave here. I'm not totally sure about this, but really what we're actually looking for here is, we know that we shouldn't be long. We also know that it's not time to go long yet either, and we don't really want to go short against the trend, because you really want to always trade with the trend and just buy the pullbacks if you understand what's going on or what setups you have there. Anyway, enough rambling about that. I'm going to move on to the Aussie US, which is basically the mirror opposite here. Okay, so what we're looking at here is wave 1 moving to the downside with a wave 2 corrective move to come into play here. So on the daily, we can go to, we'll just drill in here until we nail this down a little bit. So from the top of wave 4, we've got 1 and 2. That's too much drifting there, but basically this scenario here, basically looking for the turn right now. Let's go into the 2-hour chart and just sort of get a bit closer to this. So from wave 4 here, we're looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down for 5 here. We know that in this fifth wave here. We're looking for 5 waves down, and just on first view here, it appears that we've got wave 1 and 2 and 3 here. Wave 4's gone a little bit high, but we normally find that when it's dancing around large numbers, and 72 is not that large actually, but it's quite important in terms of geometry, as you know, and how we use it as part of the trading level. So that spike to the 72 there is fine. Still looking for one more move down through to here, so but we'll look at that on the 15-minute chart. But in a nutshell here, we're basically looking at once we've got this into play here, and the other markets will be the same, an A and a B and a C here, and on the 15-minute chart. I mean, it's possible to have the low in there already, and I'll just sort of explain that here. So from wave 4 here, we've got wave 1 and 2, and down here for wave 3 here. Now, wave 4 should pull back 38.2% of the wave 3 here, but we know that it really wanted to test this sort of number. This could be like a whole number, like 70 or 100 or whatever. Markets like to use them as finishing lines, and then they exhaust themselves. But so counting this down here, I was thinking that 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 right into here. So it's possible that wave 4, I don't like this, wave 4 and wave 5 is here and is done and dusted already. But I really need to leave it like this for the time being here. This little move up here so far is in 3 waves. Well, it's only in 3 waves until the top of this wave, that first leg up, is breached here, and it's not breached yet. If that folds down into there, then you know that, well, then we're basically on our way further down here. Extensions in wave 3, so wave 1 here, which is a really lovely 5-wave structure actually, and wave 5 here should be wave 1 and 5 should be roughly the same length. But then we're looking for the rally there. Now I want to talk about the New Zealand US dollar as well. It's been a bit of a headache here. I'm just wanted to present a different count here. We know that we're short already, and we'll look at that and so on, but we've got the count on the website, which is just as valid in terms of just the charts, but we use the video here in the morning to brainstorm other possible counts and look at different scenarios and strategies and so on. So in this instance here, we can look at this as being 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, kind of lining up with the US, with the other markets that we've just been looking at in a way, you know, and this market here would be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yes, and I know that we've got overlapping wave structures between these two here, which is a bit of a no-no. Normally in an ending diagonal triangle that would come into play, and so that's possible. Look, the main point is that you could be short already, and that's fine, but we also need to come up with a bit of a strategy in case we get clipped out in this scenario over here. So we need to take the next logical step, so to speak. So in terms of just bringing all this in together, so like I didn't want to miss the short trade, okay, so there was risk involved in all of that. So basically we looked to take the short trade here on the breach of this green line here. And then we talked about, well, we could be in trouble once we're down here. So we figured that if we got tested support on 68, then we would move out of this. So at this stage here, I think that just drawing a line in the sand and putting this across here now, if this is breached, with a closing price, you know, above the red line there, then we need to exit at that point. But at the same time, we've got 68, which is a nice even number. So it's been tested as resistance here and has failed to hold and is moving down here further. So I can see here that this is corrective as well. So we should get another little move down here. But what I wanted to add to this as well is that let's just pull this into play here. Let's just say it comes down to 67 here, Okay, it may come down low, and you can sort this out as you move through here. So what we should see here, if this market was going to continue down, we should see it stay below that 50-60% area there. So if the market, whoopsie-daisy, wrong tool, if the market rallies from here, then this 61.8% retracement level on this red line would be, suffice. So yeah, I mean, we're on the right side of the market at this stage. If it's going to bounce like the other markets, like the Australian dollar and so forth, then we'd be looking for this up into this area. Now, I've got this count here different than the count that I just showed you on the 4-hour chart. So there's different ways to count it. So that's a little bit sort of unfortunate, but I think we've made the right move. All you can do is take the next logical step, and we'd seen this move down here. We've seen a counter trend. We drew the line in the sand. We were under the closest largest number, so we did all the right things. Had a stop up here, then we moved the stop over to this area, and now we're moving it over to this area. It could just keep going down here. I mean, that's our long-term view for this, but looking at those crosses that we've just had a look at then in those previous charts, you'd kind of think in a way that, well, this wave 1 would be down here, and we're looking for this wave 2 to come over here, and that's why I've got that 4-hour chart, based on that particular scenario, so to speak. Right, that's that. So thanks for tuning in. Cheers.